Hi guys, my name is Marianne.
And I'm Aliana.
And this is Iconic Apparel.
Have you ever seen something in a magazine or movie and thought to yourself, I can definitely make that? If you're the crafty type, then this episode is perfect for you.
Again, my name is Marianne and I'm one of our client onboarding specialists. So if you have a Ricoma machine at home, you've probably been trained by me before.
And I'm Aliana and I'm part of the content team here at Ricoma. You've probably seen me on our virtual conference in 2020, as well as Deco Summit and all over our Instagram and TikTok. Today we've got for you a brand new series here on Ricoma's YouTube channel where we're going to break down some of the most iconic and coolest embroidery and custom apparel in music videos, TV, and movies.
And I'll explain exactly how to replicate that item on your embroidery machine, talk about what backing to use, and what materials you'll need.
And if you have any suggestions for us or something you've seen in pop culture that you want to replicate, let us know in the comments below and we'll make sure to do an Embroidery Hub episode on it.
All right, let's jump in.
So first up, the Sandlot. I love this movie so much, everyone.
This was my whole childhood. I mean, I can see why this cap was so made fun of. The bill is weighing down his whole head.
He looks like a duck. Benny. See, now all these kids know what they're doing. They've got their typical baseball hats. Some are structured. Some are, the typical dad cap. There's obviously a difference between dad caps and the structured caps. So those dad caps are the really flimsy ones. And then the structured caps are the ones that bend and have form.
Yeah. Unstructured caps were really popular in this era because you can just put it in your pocket and fold it up.
Then what kind of cap is he wearing? I've never seen anything with that kind of bill. And
honestly, I feel like that's kind of like a fisherman's cap. When you're boating, extra sun protection.
What's more popular? What do you think people need help with more often? The dad caps or the structured caps?
Structured caps are easy. I think they're a little more popular these days. But if they're very, very thick, like a Richardson cap, it can give you some trouble because the needles have trouble going through such a thick material. The hooping is really important. So we're making sure that the forehead area that you're stitching on is smoothed out when you're hooping. Those unstructured caps don't really retain their own shape. So they'll try to move around. We don't want to give the fabric a lot of movement to move around because the embroidery could start folding up and pinching up. And then using some extra backing because we're adding structure underneath the cap where there isn't any.
And the structured caps don't really need that backing.
No, you can get away with not using backing on a structured cap or very little backing, like one sheet of tearaway.
Hats and caps like this have never gone out of style.
Never.
Baseball's never gone out of style. There's still a million little leagues in every single community that need caps like this so that they can go and play in the backyard just like this.
There's always demand for caps.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, the cap's gotta go. Yep, it's gotta go.
It has to go.
There you go.
That iconic cap switch.
Mm-hmm. Thanks, man. Now he's ready to play ball.
Yeah, he's in now.
He's cool.
Mom, guess what?
Rockstar.
I don't know what to look at more, the hair or the jacket.
I mean, who wouldn't be ready to perform with a jacket like that on? That gives you instant celebrity.
The embroidery is just all down the sleeves, which actually kind of makes it even more impressive.
Mm-hmm.
And not just because it looks cool, but because we know how hard that is. That's much harder than doing the sleeves and doing the jacket back. A lot of people always ask, can the Ricomas embroider on leather? And we always say the Ricomas can embroider on anything that you can put the needle through.
Yeah, if the needle can go through, you can embroider on it.
What would they need to get in those sleeves?
I think definitely an 8-in-1 hoop. The 8-in-1 hoop is good for sleeves, for pockets, for beanies. And I think especially with leather, it's important to have some thicker needles at home. So we can have the 80x12 or the 90x14, just so we don't risk breaking a needle going through such a thick material. You might even get away with no backing or maybe a sheet of tearaway.
Leather jackets are obviously really, really pricey. What I've seen is these custom orders that a customer will come into the shop with the jacket already. We get a ton of questions from people about these special orders, how do you handle that? If you mess it up with the embroidery, then do you have to pay back the money for that
Ooh,
jacket?
yeah.
Do you buy a new one yourself and try again? Like, you know, with embroidery, it is tricky because you do get one shot on that one garment you want. That one specifically, like getting up here, you know, the 8-in-1 device makes it possible, but it doesn't mean that it's not necessarily, it's still a challenge.
Yeah.
We actually have a contract template that our customers can like download that we made here at Ricoma, and it pretty much just says that if something gets damaged, that you're not held responsible or liable for it.
I think it's safe if people have extra material and practicing on backing as well. Like making sure the design runs well.
Absolutely.
Before you risk ruining one-of-a-kind garments. How cool would it be to embroider something that could potentially be put in like a museum or like a Hall of Fame?
Here you have that one garage band come to your store, your neighborhood store, and they, you know, embroider, and then they wear it on that one viral song, one viral music video, and you know, it really does just take one order to launch you into stardom. Grease too. The Pink Lady's car.
It's an iconic car, iconic jacket.
Now that is the typical jacket back.
I think the jacket serves as like a status symbol. Like you know exactly who they are once they have that jacket on.
The whole Pink Ladies look is probably still one of the most popular like Halloween costumes today. I mean, I've dressed up as a Pink Lady before, and I've gone to Party City and bought the jacket, which they'll cost you, you know, a costume will cost you $50.
Yeah.
And when you open it up, it's literally like a little flimsy piece of nylon, and it's like
terrible.
Not even embroidered on the back. It's literally just like almost heat transfer, but it's already
peeling already.
Exactly. You get it one use, and then the next year it's like, okay, well, now it's just an old costume that's already peeling. You know, you're at home, you have your own machine, you find, you know, that kind of style of jacket on, you know, on Amazon, on Etsy, wherever, purchase the jacket, then embroider it, and that will look more real than the actual costume at Party City. I think people will actually pay more money for a Pink Lady's jacket that was kind of more custom made than just the generic one at Party City.
Yeah.
You're gonna be late. Let's go.
In terms of this jacket specifically, that nylon material is a little bit more porous, breathable. So make sure to use aqua top. So it adds some structure on the top so that the threads don't sink into the material. Some light backing, like maybe some tear away, so we don't have like scratchiness on the inside. It's a thin jacket. Some of it looks like nylon, some of it looks like satin or silk. With materials like that, you want to use a thinner needle so you can get a sharp output on that small lettering like that, and you don't risk ripping through the material going at a speed that's too high. So you want to make sure that you have maybe some extra material that you can practice on.
We've got a video that we do a jean jacket back. We've got a video where we do leather bags, so people can really learn and follow along how to deal with that fabric.
Okay, everybody, listen up. Thank you for coming. Before we get started, I want to say a few words about
what happened to that shirt.
Disease called rabies.
There's just so much on that left corner.
He wanted his, you know, left chest logo and then everything on the back, but
bigger. And you have to do it. Like if you have a customer that comes to you with something this ridiculous, you're not going to say no.
No.
Like you kind of just have to do it. The customer is always right.
Always send a sample out because, you know, it could be the case that this was not what was, you know, asked for. The customer will send you a weird design. It's all over the place. So I always suggest give a sample.
They need
even
to
if
see
it's
it.
even if it's a rendering online.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if he didn't mean to send it like that, and then you print out like 50 shirts like that, and then they don't want to pay for it because that's not what they wanted.
Not what they asked for.
Damn, if everybody felt that way, nothing would get done.
So I think in this case, the shirt was probably made with screen printing. It looks like they made a big order for a bunch of people. This is an athletic event, so if they wanted to buy athletic, like dry fit material, they could do it on a polyester shirt and sublimate with the two-step transfer printers, and that'll actually have a much better effect on the fabric. It's not adding any extra layers. It's actually getting right into the fabric. So it lasts more washes, and it would probably actually suit them a lot better in this scene.
Excellent.
When you're doing bulk orders like this, you definitely want to make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck and going with an actual wholesaler that has good prices, has quality stuff, because you definitely want to maximize your profit and not spend an arm and a leg on the t-shirt so that you can charge more and make more of a profit if the shirt was at a lower cost.
I will never
Remember the Titans.
cut a player who comes out to play for me, but when you put that uniform on.
Now this is definitely my favorite sports movie of all time. Hands down.
This is an iconic movie.
So I guess with like sportswear and things like this, what really probably the most popular thing to have done with embroidery is just that left chest logo. I do know that like placement can be pretty tricky.
I think it varies on what the garment actually is. So polo shirt versus a jacket versus a hoodie would all have a different placement, but the range is usually 4 to 6 inches horizontally, like from the center seam out. And then from the shoulder down would be from like 7 to 9 inches. It would depend on what the garment is.
There's a lot of tools that will also help with the placement. The embroiderer's guide, the hoop master.
Yeah.
We have a lot of videos as well on, placement and how to use those resources, as well as kind of how to just eyeball it too. I think after a while, you get to a point where you just know exactly where it's supposed to be.
I think there's always demand for your classic left corner logo, especially with uniforms. There's always a company or a sports team that's going to need uniforms. So
I'll tell you something, you don't let anything, nothing come between us.
We get a lot of questions on pricing for left chest logos and things like that, because it is probably the thing that is most asked for, and a lot of people are kind of stuck on that whole $1 per 1,000 stitches is what you should charge customers, and it's just not the case anymore. I think that idea is so outdated. Things are getting more expensive, and at the end of the day, the logos are still staying the same size.
I think it also depends on what the design, what type of stitches are being used, because one stitch for like a satin stitch is not the same as a cross stitch, for example, that uses more bobbin.
We typically say you have to factor in the time it took you to embroider whatever design it is. Did it take time to digitize it? Did you have to pay to outsource the digitizing? One of our most popular resources that we've created is the embroidery profit calculator. It takes you to this downloadable site where you input your costs of materials, overhead costs, the time it takes to embroider a certain garment, depending on how fast you're running the machine. And then at the end, it calculates how much you should be charging for that specific garment or that specific item to make max profit. So it's pretty cool.
It does it for you.
Yes, it does all the math for you. It's very intuitive, and it takes into consideration everything we're talking about.
Harry Potter.
Difficult, very difficult.
Fun
Plenty of
fact,
courage.
I'm the biggest Harry Potter fan ever. Ever.
What house are you?
I'm definitely a Ravenclaw.
Okay. When I was younger, there was one of the Harry Potter movies that had something like super scary, and I just never saw them again.
It's probably the second one with the snake.
That spider scene killed me.
You remember being in elementary school and having to wear those polos with like the school insignia patch?
Oh.
I wish we could wear cloaks. Probably be much more like
it's so much cozier. And they have that cool patch on it.
There's a whole world out there like
of patches.
People are crazy about them.
Yeah. For uniforms like this, for like Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, their little sashes.
Wingardium Leviosa. Stop. You're going to take someone's eye out.
I think with any embroidery, especially with an intricate patch like this, you want to make sure you start with a well-digitized file. The machine can only perform what you're giving it, so having a well and cleanly digitized file, you'll have a good output no matter what. So you have to make sure you have a good digitizer that you trust and that's reliable. And if not, you can learn how to digitize yourself. You can make that profit on your own. You can sell your designs and make your own designs. Making sure that you have at least one of our 15 needle machines that have a way wider embroidery area. So you can set up the table and put like a sash frame on it.
Absolutely.
Your machines do have a duplication key, so you can make copies of that patch and just watch your machine stitch them all out.
Yeah, I mean, now that's magic.
Yeah.
Shut up, Harry.
I definitely think you are a Ravenclaw for knowing all of this.
I'm honored to be a Ravenclaw.
So that was fun.
It was. We covered just about everything. We covered patches, we covered cap embroidery, jacket backs.
Maximizing profits, getting new clients, a little bit about everything in the custom apparel space. So if you guys want to learn more and see more videos like this and come and hang out with me and Marianne more often, make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel and make sure to follow us on all of our social media handles. We are on Facebook, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok. Make sure to follow us on Instagram at Ricoma HQ, where we have over 25,000 followers. And make sure to join our free Facebook group, Embroidery and Custom Apparel Mastery, where you can join over 20,000 apparel decorators, ask questions, and network with your fellow colleagues.
You want to watch another movie?
Yeah.